In this video, we're going to work on the inputs and outputs of x, and we're going to try to figure out from after creating an equation how I can then use that equation when I'm trying to solve problems. Alright, so looking up at the context, it says Jack and Jill are selling bracelets at a craft fair. It costs $15 in materials and supplies for the bracelet, and they plan to sell them for $2.75 a piece. In order to make that equation, what we need to do is look at the key features here up in the context. The key features that we're going to look for is the y-intercept, the rate of change, the x variable, and the y variable. So the y-intercept, we're looking for 0, something in a graph, or 0, something in a table. Rate of change is going to be your change in your y over your change in your x, and your x and your y variable. If we look at the rate of change, the thing that's changing every time is the bracelets are costing $2.75 a piece. So that is $2.75 is the cost for one bracelet. I'm just going to put BR for bracelet. And this right here now tells us what our variables are. If it's the change in the y, and the y is the money, then the y variable is the money earned. Because the y is standing for $2.75, a change in that y. The x is standing for bracelets, so the x variable equals bracelets. Okay, so it's $2.75 for every one bracelet. Our x variable standing for bracelets, our y variable standing for money earned, and the y-intercept is how much money have I earned before I've sold any bracelets, because it's x comma y is a coordinate pair, and we want to know if x is 0, then we want to know if bracelets are 0. If I've sold 0 bracelets, how much money have I earned? It costs them $15 in materials and supplies. Okay, so before they've sold any bracelets, they are in debt, negative, in debt $15. Right, and so what we're going to focus on there is the x variable. I'm going to label that with red, and the y variable, and that's going to be orange. And putting that equation together, we end up with y equals 2.75x minus 15. If you're confused on how to put that equation together, you need to go back and look at the toolkit labeled Linear Key Features, and they're step-by-step on how to take your information and put that into an equation. Okay, so this is, I'm not going to go over that here because I don't want this to get too long. So all I did was just label out my parts here, my x and my y. All right, so we have that equation, and what we're trying to learn in this toolkit is how do I use that equation, keep the structure, and answer these questions with the equation. If Jack and Jill sell 30 bracelets, how much money will they have? How much money will they have? Well, 30 bracelets is what's important here. The extra information that's given to us is they have now sold 30 bracelets. If I go back up to my variables, bracelets is x. So I'm going to take my red and I'm going to color this red. The y is talking about money. So how much money? That's still a question. We don't know that. It's not information that's provided. That is what we're going to use our equation to solve. Going back up here, we use the equation and we only input the value into one of the variables. So 30 bracelets is x, so it's going to go in for x. We still don't know y. So y equals 275. Instead of it being x, it's times 30 minus 15. Okay, so in that, 30 is the bracelets, that's x. I still don't know the y. And when we solve that, grabbing my calculator here, I've got, putting that in, 2.75 times 30 minus 15. Okay, so I just input the 30 in for x, and I get 6750. So I get y equals 6750. Okay, so a 30 is the number of bracelets sold, and the 6750 is the money earned. All right, let's look at the next one. If Jack and Jill want to make $139, how many bracelets do they need to sell? The information that's provided in that question is $139. And we know, using our variables, using our key, that the Y is standing for the money earned. It's $139. How many bracelets? It's the part that we don't know. That's the variable for the x. We're looking to solve that. I'm going to use this equation and substitute information in here. So instead of it being y, it's going to become 139 equals 2.75. I don't know my x, so it's still x, minus 15. Okay, so we've got to solve this. How do we solve for x at this point? In order to solve the value for x, we've got to isolate x and get it by itself. We've got to undo each operation. So if this is a subtract 15, in order to get rid of it, we're going to add 15. And we're going to add 15 on this side. Negative 15 plus 15 gives us 0, so it's gone. What we have left is 275x. That's what we have left up here. 139 plus 15 gives us, I believe it's 154. 154 equals $2.75 times the number of bracelets that we are going to sell. We want to get x by itself. This is multiplication, 2.75 times x. In order to undo that multiplication, you're going to divide by 275. I'm going to divide by 275. All right. 275 divided by 275 is 1. Anything divided by itself is 1, so what we're left with is x equals, and again, using my calculator here, I need to do that operation, which is 154 divided by 275, and I get exactly 56. X is 56. What is 56 standing for? If you were to answer this right now, your answer would not be complete because I don't know that we haven't put it back into the context. 56 is standing for X, and X is bracelets, so I'm going to make that red. And what I didn't do up here is that the 139 was standing for our Y, and here was our missing X up here. I missed that. All right, so we've got, if I go back to red, red is bracelets. So 56 bracelets sold. I will earn $139. Okay. All right, last one. What is the break-even point? So break-even point is a math vocabulary word. Any business needs to know their break-even point, and that is the point where they are no longer in debt, but they haven't made any money, meaning that they've now broken even at $0. Okay, they haven't lost any money, they haven't made any money. If I go back here, if it's $0 is a break-even point, and I go back to my variables, money earned is our Y. This is talking about money. It's not talking about bracelets. So our break-even is going to be orange. It's going to be our Y. In our equation, instead of it being Y, it's going to become 0 equals 275x minus 15. 0 is our Y, X is our unknown. We don't know it yet, so we need to figure out how many bracelets do I need to sell in order to break even. Because remember, I spent $15. I'm in debt right now, $15. In order to solve that, we're going to do the same thing we did over here. We're going to undo the entire equation, adding 15, adding 15. 0 plus 15 is 15. Negative 15 plus 15 is gone. All I'm left with is 275x. And I need to now divide both sides by 275. What I'm left with is x equals 5.45. And in context, that doesn't make sense because you can't have 0.45 of a bracelet. But to understand this, if I've only sold 5, I'm still in debt. If I sold 6, I now have a profit of my value. Okay?